and welcome to another episode of From Her View. I'm super excited about this episode because it is a game changer, and I really want to talk about information. So, some great books, baby, because reading is what? Fundamental, okay? Reading is fundamental. But if you're like me, who I don't want to say I don't have the time to read, but in order for me to consume information in a more quantitative way, I am an audiobook girl. So we are still consuming our information and it is still fundamental. So, okay, I have my top 3 books at the moment, and if you're someone who has tried audiobooks and you're like audiobooks, I don't know, I will say that give it a try again. When I tell you I'm an audiobook girl, it's not a one and done audiobook girl. And I was having this conversation with my partner and saying, I do like books. I do like paperback. I do like reading books. I am a highlighter. I am a note taker. That's just something that is ingrained in me from my mom, from just being an instructor and going to church and taking notes from sermons and everything like that, and never forgetting that my mom saying, she's like, I passed my shorthand class by, doing shorthand, taking notes in church, which, baby, shorthand, that's a whole nother language, child. They need to bring that back to school with cursive, because I don't have that skill. But nonetheless, I wanted to go over my top 3 books that you should not walk but run to get. Either you can find them on Amazon. I'm sure you can find them at your local library, which, baby, your local library is your friend, and we'll talk about that too. But this is From Her View, child, and I'm just trying to tell you, what I was doing, to help me get along, so I can get along. But I'm going to go in order of introduction to the book themselves. So my first book, I was introduced to this book by being an avid listener of podcasts. I've said this before, I love information, and you can get information from absolutely everywhere. In order for something to be valuable, you have to walk away with one thing that you did not know, one principle, one take, one something, and there was value in it. There has been a lot of times that I've been in places and I'm like, man, I've heard this information before, and it'll just be that one thing that would be a catalyst for, an explosion of mind shifting to happen for me. So I do believe that you need to open your mind, because if you go into a situation closed, you gonna leave with exactly what you came in, closed. Okay, like a closed mouth can't get fed, baby. A closed brain ain't gonna get no knowledge. It's not about to happen. So my first book that I recommend is going to be, because I got it up over here. It's going to be The 12-Week Year, and it's by Moran and Micheal Lennington, and I absolutely love this book. And I have listened to this book. I kind of wish Audible would let you know how many times you've listened to a book in its totality, because baby, I know I listened to this book at least 8 times. At least 8 times. And every time I listen to it, I always get something different. But I'll let you in on The 12-Week Year in a little bit of a little, what do they call it? Summaries. I'll give you summaries of it. So The 12-Week Year is essentially about Brian, Micheal Lennington, them being in the corporate world, but taking this corporate world thing that they formulated and saw how you can actually make this very prevalent and useful in all aspects of your life. And it's basically something good for the analytical people like myself, or even if you're not analytical, or even if you are a person who just wakes up and let the day happen to them and don't let you happen to the day. This would be something to that effect. So this book essentially is teaching you how to get rid of annualized thinking. So the general sense of the Gregorian calendar, how there is no true significance in the Gregorian calendar. It's just a way that we decided, or society has decided to, track our time. But we can set up our goals and things that we want to do in the 12-week year. So each week is a month, each day, 12-week year. So each week is a month, and each day, 12-week year. Okay, 12-week year. So each week is a month, and each day is a week. Why did it take so long for me to get that out? Look, and it's staying in too. I ain't cutting this out because this is from her view. This is me. This is real. This is, this is how she is. But anyways, so that is essentially what it is. So, what I love about it is if you are a person who gets a little kind of like overwhelmed by a big thing. So like, let's say you are going to college and you are completely overwhelmed with how are you going to schedule this, or how are you going to get your papers written, and then you also work a job and whatever the case may be. So it's going to give you that, okay, each day is a week. You're going to be able to track these things and go over, okay, what are the significance of me getting these things done? Then they don't bombard you. So like for the 12-week year, you can break them down into categories. So my categories are family or faith, finance, future, and fitness. So I have more categories than the average. Then they recommend, because they have printables and everything. If you go onto their website, they have a lot more than, I have a lot more than they recommend. But these are 5 pillars in my life that I kind of want to focus on. So for my family, what are some of the things that I can do every week? Talking about the Gregorian week, which would equate to 1 year, but those tactics, those things that you can do. And these are also great when it comes to future. So for me, future means like my business or things that I want to do, things like that, because I can always say future and finance kind of go hand in hand, because something could be, literally denomination related, but it could also be something like, okay, I want to launch this in my business, or I want to save up for this for the business, whatever the case may be, or I want to invest in this and, yada, yada. What I like about this book is it takes goals and it helps you compartmentalize them, right? But actually track them. That is something where we lose sight of our goals because we're not necessarily tracking them. One of the things that I love about it, that I take away, because I still will utilize the 12-week year. I'm utilizing it right now. Maybe I got things that I'm trying to achieve, that I'm trying to accomplish within the Gregorian year, but because I'm breaking it down in 12-week years, or even if it makes more sense to you and say in quarters, that I'm going to get a lot accomplished. That was the only way that I was recovering from brain surgery, and literally they amputated a part of my brain and I still passed my real estate exam. Like, you, like, I'm awesome, but I ain't that awesome. Like, you need systems. You need systems in place to keep you on that straight and narrow path. And this is what I did. This is something that I utilized, and it was great. I was introduced to it listening to a podcast, to Earn Your Leisure podcast, and they were like, this is a good book. And I don't know if you guys follow them, but they had a very rapid growth. And, if God's hand's in it, it'll grow like that. But also, we as, holders of the seed or bearers of the seed, we actually need to do the work that we need to do on top of that as well. So it's not just, completely one-sided. You have to have these systems in place. So 12-week year, 10 out of 10 recommend. Like I was saying, one of the things that I still utilize to this day is the 24-hour calendar. And so I'll throw it up in here what my 24-hour calendar looks like. For those of you listening, go onto YouTube, baby. Go onto YouTube, or go into my IG and I'll have it posted. But what my 24-hour calendar looks like, it is phenomenally life-changing. I can't tell you, okay, how many times we're like, okay, like I had I'm currently in school getting my class A, and I had like a 2-week break. The first week, I let the day happen to me. And I was like, damn, this day just went by so fast. It just was the fastest. I can't get nothing done. There's not enough time in the day. But baby, when I pull out that 24-hour calendar and I see, okay, in the way that I do it is I always plug in like work, okay, because I have to go to work in order to finance my dreams. Electricity is finance, baby. This ain't free. So I have to, decide, okay, work, and then after work I do my sleep, because sleep is important. Getting adequate amount of sleep is important, especially if you are at my age, especially as a person who has struggled with workaholism, who will not sleep for real. Like, sleep is very, 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 very important. We need to give the body adequate rest and recovery. So that is paramount. I put in, my time with God. Like, you think that I'm like prioritizing things wrong, but it's really not. I need my time to be intentional with Him. Very intentional, very specific, every single day. That's just how it has to be. If I have a man and I'm like, I want us to spend intentional time with one another, but I can't give as an offering of spending intentional time with Christ, who knows the man more than me, more than I ever will. Like, I could be with this man for 53 years and I still won't know him as well as the Maker knows him. I have to spend time with God. It's not a have to, because it's not a chore. It is as essential as drinking water. It's as essential as breathing. And that is my next state of time. So once I do that, I'll plug in, my gym time. So I had a trainer at the time. My sessions are up. Praise Jesus. And now I'm going to go in and have like times where I can set myself up for success and know that I can go to the gym at least 3 times a week at minimum, leg, push, pull. And then I will plug in time with my kids. So I like to do family time, and then I like to do individual time, which is kind of hard doing the individual time because like my daughter is a working women's, okay? She is her mother's child. She is her grandmother's uh grandbaby, and she is on the ball. She is out here queen. And that's a whole nother story, but I'll definitely have to bring that up at some point. But oh, and just amazing. Like honestly, my kids are amazing. Like amazing kids. Like when I think about kids that I grew up with, the things that they were doing, when I think about the things that I was doing at their age, when I see the things that kids that they are the same age, like what they're doing, child, praise Jesus. I'm blessed. I'm blessed. I am thankful. Not to say that they don't get out of pocket at times, not to say that they're walking around here wearing, you know, halos, but I'm just so thankful. I'm so thankful. Look, y'all don't have me crying. Oh, Jesus. I'm just so thankful for who they are. But you have to spend intentional time with your kids. And it's so funny because my son was like, you know, like you guys spent time with each other. Like me and my daughter, we had spent time with each other and like bought shoes and, you know, whatever. And I was like, oh, are you upset that we like bought shoes? And he's like, no, I'm not upset that you guys bought shoes. I'm kind of upset like we just didn't do it together. And I was like, oh, like my son is gonna make a bomb husband. My daughter's gonna make it a bomb wife. So get y'all little kids together, okay? Make sure they come corrects or not at all. But anyways, I digress. I went down the rabbit hole. But yeah, so the intentional time with my kids, and then I put glow time. So glow time is my time to create, to make things like this, to do my podcasting, my content creating, things like that. Focus on my business, doing budgets and all that jazz. But then I also have to sprinkle in my self-care time. When am I going to do these nails? You see, I'm out here thumbless in Seattle. I don't live in Seattle, but I just want to, you know, never mind. But I'm out here thumbless. So when do I schedule time, you know, for that, for, you know, to get these brows shaped, to get these toes done, you know, to do like facials and, you know, all that jazz, like scheduling stuff for that. So that 24-hour calendar is huge. It is huge. It is paramount. If there's like one thing that you don't take away from that, it is that. So the 12-week year, is a book that I highly recommend. There's tons of different YouTube videos on actually how to implement them. They have a lot of free sources on how to implement the 12-week year. I'm just giving you some of the things that I did, because I didn't follow it to a T, but there are some awesome takeaways from this that really help. And scheduling intentional time in the places that you say are important to you. So I said, you know, my family is important. Okay, that time is scheduled. I say that my faith is important. Okay, that time is scheduled. I say my finances are important. That time is scheduled. My future is important. That time is scheduled. And my fitness is important. And that time is scheduled. Now, we can go down into the nuances of what does that look like with me putting my 5 pillars into action. But I want to tell you that it is doable. It is doable. And when you break it down in that way, that time is set aside for them, and it makes everything that much easier. You don't feel like a super strained that you're not getting these things done. So this is the first book that I recommend to you to try out. It is the 12-week year by Brian P. Moran and Micheal Lennington. And so I hope you guys give it a try. Let me know. Leave in the comments. What's your view? What's your view of this book? How did you like it? Did you get it? Check your library. Okay? Check YouTube. I'm sure somebody got it on here. Like, definitely check them out. And if you don't follow them on Facebook, Facebook or Instagram, follow them on Instagram, follow them on Facebook. They're always sharing some great knowledge for you to help you level up and change your mindset, because we're all about mindset shift on From Her View. So this is Sade Camille signing off. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.